What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. Today I made $200 trading the Nasdaq market. Honestly, price was very weird, right? It was pretty whack. We did have several setups that were, I guess you could say, good, but I mean, to me, they didn't stand out to me as much, so I didn't take them, right? And I pretty much went the majority of like AM session just without trading, and then like around 10:15, 10:16, I ended up taking a short, which I ended up profiting off, which is honestly not that bad. So as you guys have seen in the previous videos, I've been usually getting either break evens or I've had like very minimal winning days, as you guys can see right here. Last week I made only $76 on Monday. Then on Tuesday I made 18, right? And then Thursday I ended up going break even, and well, today was our big major win, first major win. So yeah, it's honestly not that bad. It's a good start, right? It's a small amount. Again, I'm doing base hits, so that means that I'm risking very low, and my profit gain right now is not going to be as much as you know, those like $500 or like $600, but we'll get there eventually as we grow the account. Again, I'm trying to protect my psych. I'm trying to just focus on price, not focus on the outcome. And I'm not trying to like mess up my psych right now, because I do have a tendency of doing that. But anyways, we took a really nice short, and let's get into the trade recap. So like I said, price was honestly very weird today, right? My original draws for the day was this unfilled 4-hour. I know it's kind of filled right now, but TradingView has a very weird habit of just showing price like 4 hours ahead. I don't know how to explain it, but it's weird. You guys would probably understand. But anyways, I already have the replay on. So okay, so this is how price looked like before market open. So my original draw was this unfilled 4-hour. I honestly wanted price to distribute lower or manipulate lower towards this unfilled 15-minute. I would have wanted to take an inversion off that to target this unfilled 4-hour, or this sell side, this buy side liquidity. My bad. Let's go ahead and mark that out. Buy side liquidity. So with that being said, I wanted to see something like this. Yeah. So I would have wanted price to take out this low, take out all this remaining low resistance liquidity, tap into the 15-minute, take a inversion off that, distribute higher towards this buy side liquidity. Then from there we'd rebalance a 5-minute or something, and then take another inversion off that towards our final draw, which is the unfilled 4-hour, right? And if you ask me, well, how many points is this from this 15-minute to this 4-hour? Roughly like about 200 or 160, which honestly, it seemed that, you know, we would get to that at the end, by the end of the session, but no, price ended up having a different idea. So anyway, so what actually happened? Let's go ahead and check that out. Again, I wanted price to sweep out that low, then tap into this 15-minute, but we just ended up blowing through that buy side liquidity, then blowing through that 4-hour fair value gap. Now at that point, I did want a rebalance into this unfilled 5-minute. Right. And we did have this 1-minute inversion right here, but what ended up happening was that I think as we ended up closing, we ended up creating another, well, we ended up not closing that, and then we ended up creating a 5-minute inversion, or a 5-minute fair value gap right right here. So with the creation of that 5-minute fair value gap, my bias or I didn't want to look for shorts anymore. So I ended up wanting to look for longs towards this swing high right here. Right, and I wanted price to at least retrace into this discounted 5-minute fair value gap and take out all of this low resistance liquidity. That way, you know, there wouldn't be a reason to continue lower, and that way there could also be no draws on liquidity, or yeah, in other words, just there wouldn't be a reason to go lower. But we ended up not having that. We ended up having a 1-minute inversion. It tapped into that premium 5-minute fair value gap, a 1-minute inversion, and we ended up targeting these highs up here. If you would have taken this trade, I know there was plenty of people that took it. You would have had a 1-to-1 easily. And yeah, this ended up playing out. We did go into drawdown a bit, so yeah, but still, it was a pretty good trade. Once we tapped, once we reswept actually that 4 hour and swept out that 4 hour internal high, I did want shorts towards the at least the discounted 5-minute, right? But yeah, we did have this 1-minute fair value gap, which honestly did seem pretty juicy to invert, my bad. But we didn't get that, and also we were so close to macro open, so I decided to just, if this ended up playing out, I just decided to fade it. We also had a 15-minute fair value gap opening right here, so again, I would have rather just waited for my long and then distribute higher towards this high right here. So anyways, 9 a.m. came, price, I was expecting price to open lower and then sweep out these lows and sweep out at least this one as well, right? That way, again, there wouldn't be a reason for us to continue lower, and we would have 0 open liquidity. But we ended up not having that, right? We ended up having a 1-minute inversion that, to be honest with you, I wanted to take, but again, I wasn't gonna allow myself because I had already been screwed over. That's actually how I lost my funded. But anyways, and even if you did want to take it, I mean, look at how many candles it took to like close, bro. But anyways, this ended up failing, right? And then like around 9:22 or 9:21, we ended up having this huge Drake candle, which ended up taking all of this draw on liquidity, and then we ended up just going for that swing high that I had initially marked out. Once we had swept out this high, again, I was looking for shorts. It just ended up becoming a pattern at this point. So like a quick short to this unfilled 5-minute. You go ahead and like do that or mark this out. Excuse me, it's my phone ringing. Anyways, so I did want an inversion, but again, there was probably a 30-second here somewhere, but we ultimately didn't get that. Again, it would have been a great short if we had gotten an inversion. Why? Because we had all of this low resistance liquidity just sitting there, but unfortunately we didn't get that. We got that retracement to that unfilled 5-minute, and then yeah, at that point, I mean, we were close to market close, and I was looking for long, but I really didn't want to risk it simply because we were about to hit that 10 a.m. mark. But anyways, come on. Yeah, and then we also had this unfilled 5-minute here. So I don't know. I faded this long, to be honest with you. I really did. And we also had this 1 minute, but I don't know. I faded it. I really didn't like it. I just faded it, and then from there, if I were to take another short, right, I would have taken it to at least this unfilled 5-minute that was being created. But in order to take that short towards this unfilled 5-minute, I would need to wait for price to sweep out this high right here. which we ended up doing, right? And we ended up creating a 2-minute inversion right here. Again, I was going to wait for this price to close below that 2-minute, which we ended up doing. And I ended up taking my short position right here for a quick 1-to-1. 1-to-1-ish. There we go. So I risked like around 190 to make 195, 196. Anyways, and this ended up working out, right? And then from there we ended up having another rally to sweep out that high, and then from there we just ended up selling off to rebalance that premium 5-minute that we had faded right here. Let me just remove all this noise. And also to rebalance this unfilled 30-minute right here. As you guys can see, we just completely rebalanced everything. Anyways, that is a trade recap for today. I did try to explain it to the best of my ability, so if anybody didn't understand, I'm so sorry. Anyways, so that is it. Again, like I did mention, I did blow that second funded. I do have footage on that, so I will upload that just to be transparent for transparency purposes. And yeah, overall, pretty good day, right? And I'll see you guys later.